Welcome to another edition of Facts Over Fear. And today we are diving into what is going on with SNAP, with food insecurity in our communities, and how we can support our neighbors in need. In case anybody hasn't heard, the longest ever government shutdown is on the verge of ending, with the Senate poised to pass a bipartisan deal that would resolve the weeks-long fight over government funding. The senators are currently voting on agreements reached between some Democrats, Republicans, and President Trump's White House that's going to keep the government open until January 30th. And then God only knows what's going to happen after that. The agreement would also keep various other federal benefits, including the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program that most of us know as SNAP, and veteran services funded through next year. Now, this proposal is expected to pass narrowly. There's also another ongoing development that an appeals court had rejected the Trump administration's effort to block fully paying food stamp benefits in November. Many recipients are still in limbo, and that's really what we're going to talk about tonight is food insecurity, because confusion really is continuing to swirl around whether SNAP benefits will be funded, partially funded, or not funded at all. So regardless, the need for food continues to grow. Phones are ringing nonstop with people looking for help all around our country's food banks. And right here in Pittsburgh, according to the Greater Pittsburgh Community Food Bank, they've been seeing their need increase. The number of people going to the daily markets has doubled. Normally, about 150 families come to the pantry each day. This has jumped to 300. Share with us in your community, what are you seeing? Please put that in the comments below. The United Way's line here in Pittsburgh has been completely overwhelmed as well. But as always, Pittsburgh, as many other cities do, they are stepping up to help their neighbors in need. And I'm chatting today with Anastasia Dubnike. She is the chair and founding partner in the Pittsburgh affiliate chapter of Construction. And I've been wanting to have you on for so long, Anastasia. I'm so glad you are here to share a little bit about your work and the impact that we are needing right now to make a dent in this, really, I say, food crisis. We are in an emergency. But first, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's amazing.
Absolutely. So let's just talk a little bit about the generalities before we dive into construction and the work that we are seeing happening here in the region. What are you hearing from your neighbors, from your communities about the need? And have you heard from people that you know that this need is growing? What concerns you?
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting. We just wrapped up for the year, and we're very close with the food bank and work with them every year when we do construction. But they were extra excited, extra happy about all of the things that we were giving this year, and just telling us about the need that they were looking to happen because we were wrapping up a little bit about a month ago, but they knew it was coming and just like explaining the need. And then, I live in the South Hills area, and I know it's been around where a guy in our neighborhood has been, having his food bank out open for people. So, it's just everything is extreme.
I want to touch on that because that guy went viral. I didn't realize he was from the Pittsburgh region, and then he started popping up all over local media too. So for people that don't know, he had started like just a little food bank in his yard, apparently, and it really exploded. People were taking, of course, what they needed, but then someone left him a huge amount of cash, like thousands of dollars, it looked like. And there was anonymous, and it just said, pass it forward, basically keep helping people. And I just think that really speaks to the spirit of community and also what people are capable of, even in the space that we're seeing of this great division. Food really is a true connector. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we have our teams that help out with construction, and it's amazing to see not only how they pull together, but how their sponsors pull together, how people at the mall when we're building things are just so interested in everything, and then they are starting to ask questions. Oh, how can I help? How can I give? What can I do? So it
Oh.
just goes to show like people want to help when they're provided the opportunity to.
And let's talk specifically about construction because I remember hearing about this a long time ago and I've
Mhm.
covered you guys in other respects, but we've never actually gotten to do like an interview like this. So I'm
Yeah.
super excited. But for people that don't know, what is construction? How was this idea founded?
Yeah, so it's been around nationally for probably about 30 years. We
Hmm.
brought it here to Pittsburgh 11 years ago.
Hmm.
We were part of the gallery crawl downtown our first year that we had it. And basically, it is a very special food drive. We have teams that are made out of contractors, architects, engineers, and they design and build structures made completely out of canned goods. They have thousands of cans that are involved in these huge structures, and then everything gets to go to the food bank when we're done with it.
That's incredible. And, you know, when we're thinking about creativity and this idea around how we can support our neighbors and also come together as community, in the 11 years you said that you've been a part of this or that it's been brought to Pittsburgh, have you ever seen a food crisis like this before?
No, definitely not. I mean, we've been through, and there, the food bank is always willing to take things and always appreciative of our help. But like I said, I mean, you can definitely see it hitting home a little bit more for different people in the area and the people that were part of our build this year. They know people or whatever the case is that are being affected right now.
And you recently had this build day that you were talking about, where new can structures were created and put on display at Ross Park Mall. What does the build day really look like, and who's involved? Can you talk a little bit about more of the process?
Yeah, so when these teams are completed with their design, they go out and they fundraise from various vendors or whoever to get money to purchase all the canned goods. And then they are delivered that day of build day. And we start building. So their team, whoever that is of architects or contractors, will build these structures. And it takes about 4 to 5 hours depending on the build. Some are as small as like 1,000 cans, some are as large as 4 to 5,000 cans. And there's just awesome structures. We had somebody did a parking chair this year. We had somebody do Punxsutawney Phil. We had a Duquesne incline. So our theme this year was just Pittsburgh Canscapes. So something
Mm.
that was very Pittsburgh to you. So it was
Is
fun.
is the whole point of this besides it being like such a good community exercise, I love this for itself. But I think when you say something like thousands of cans, I mean that to me really calls into focus just how strong the need is. How many cans this year? Do you have an idea or a ballpark of how many were donated after the
Yeah.
construction event?
Yeah, we were able to donate 25,000 cans this
Oh
year.
my gosh.
Yep.
Wow.
Which, equates to about 75,000 meals.
Wow.
And, we also partner with the food bank to, create a website that people can vote for their favorite structures, and they vote by donation. So whether they give a
Mm.
dollar or however much they give, we were able to raise $5,000 on there as well on top of it. So, you could tell people were extra giving this year for sure.
Yeah, and everything I've read about the food banks too, they always say, yes, giving canned goods is awesome, giving shelf stable products is great, but cash is great too because they know what they're low on and also they can make that dollar stretch even further. So and when people always say, oh, I don't have any like goods to give, it's like, well, you can just leave even a $5 donation can go further than you would be able to take a $5 donation at the store, which I think is a really interesting thing. It just shows that multiplier effect. So who gets to actually build these? Do you have to apply? Do you have to register? Is it just professionals that like artists, architects, or like who is it that gets to do it?
Yeah, it can be anyone as long as you have somebody that has a design background on your team. It could be a
Hmm.
group of teachers with a friend that's an architect or whatever. And you do register. So
Hmm.
there is a team fee, and that goes to hosting the event and getting t-shirts and all kinds of other things. And we usually open registration in the summer, and then the build is in the fall. So really anybody can do it. And then obviously you can always come out and support and vote and all of that. You can be involved in that manner. We also have judges that are local to the area, so we typically like to get a local a local chef that judges,
Hmm.
because one of the
Oh,
main awards is best meal that you can kind of make out of these cans. So
oh,
yeah, we try to have fun with who our judges are too.
so cool. You know, I keep thinking about the holidays are coming up. And I think with everything that's going on, all of the statistics that I just sort of rattled off around the uncertainty of what is going to happen with SNAP, the uncertainty of what's going to happen now that the government is reopened for another 6 weeks before we might see another shutdown at the end of January. I mean, we just don't know what's going on. So if people want to learn more about construction, where can they go? And where are some other resources that you'd like to direct people if they want to support our food insecure friends and neighbors or anybody who just needs a meal?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So constructionpittsburgh.org is our website. We're on all the social media channels as well. And then obviously the Pittsburgh Food Bank, you can go to their website. It's a very helpful website with answering a lot of your questions, whether you need or you want to give. And then also, actually, we're partnering with Highmark for a light up night event this year. So they have asked us to help build a structure for them. So we're actually working on that tomorrow and Wednesday, and we will be opening that for light up night.
Oh, that's really cool. Can you give us a hint on what it might be, or is it top secret?
So Highmark is rolling it out as part of their new campaign on Wednesday. So
Okay.
yeah, you'll know then.
All right, guys. So it's top secret, is what I'm hearing. A little bit. Before we wrap this up, I know I'm extremely frustrated by what is going on at the government level, both nationally, but right here in Pennsylvania, we're also dealing with a state government that still hasn't passed a budget. And now that's impacting transportation, food, healthcare, all of these things. What do you want people to understand about the idea of acting locally in your own backyard and how that can almost like turn something on to activate you in other ways too?
Yeah, I mean, I would say just go to the food bank. Just being at the food bank is motivating.
Yeah.
I actually didn't know for a while that they have a full market that you can go in and get fresh food and fresh meat, and it's all people. It's your neighbor. It is kids at school. It is all these people that you would not maybe like think that need things, but going to the food bank, even giving a half an hour of your time is helpful, and it'll inspire you to help out.
Yeah, I think if nothing else, what I've seen right now is even in the midst of there being all of this trauma and drama around what is going on in our political system, it's sort of like the old thing that Mr. Rogers always used to say when there's times of trouble, look for the helpers.
Mm,
And I think there are
absolutely.
so many helpers around us. There are so many people doing cool and interesting work like you guys with construction and important work that eases people's suffering, but also reminds them that they are not alone. And I think at the end of the day, the cure for all of this that ails us really is a sense of community and recognizing like we are each other's keeper,
Yeah.
in a very real way. So if people want to learn more about construction, where can they go?
Yeah. So, like I said, constructionpittsburgh.org is our website. Go on there. We just announced all of our winners for the year. So you can find all of those and our structures from this year on there, so you can see everything that we built this year.
Awesome. And guys, if you're not in Pittsburgh, look up construction and see where it is in your neighborhood as well,
Absolutely.
because we know that the need is everywhere and so are the helpers, just like you, Anastasia. So thank you so much for joining me for this very special edition of Facts Over Fear.
Thank you so much.
All right, everybody, thanks for joining us. And until next time, as always, please take care of yourselves and each other. Have a great night.